Hey, vinyl community, as I film this, it's September 14th. I'm not sure when I'll post this, but 2 days ago, where I live, we had our first snowfall. So for all of you who think I'm very lucky and fortunate with my vinyl finds, just remember, where I live, we get snow on September 12th. Cheers, everyone. Also, I kind of hedged on filming this video today as I'm in the middle of this terrible cold/infection that's making its way through my work. A lot of my coworkers have missed like a week of work, and I've only missed a day. So I win this stupid award for not using my sick days. So yeah, so you have to excuse me. I'm sick. So anyways, but we'll forge on with the help of horrible Canadian coffee. Anyways, this is a very exciting video, so stay with me today, please. Some really incredible finds, and I'm going to get through some new vinyl that I got in the mail, and then I'm going to get to some stuff that is just, frankly, it's unbelievable. It's I'll get to it, and I'll get to it in a second. Let me go through some non-vinyl finds really quick. There's only a couple things. I got a copy of The Wall on cassette. Don't think I need it, but it was there. And look at this. I'm going to use these for my my Vox guitar amp, just so I don't blow the hearing of my family while I'm kind of playing guitar. I found a pair of AKG studio headphones at Goodwill, which is a thrift store. I mean, incredibly good headphones, AKG. How's that? So it's not just vinyl stuff I find. Those were the only non-vinyl finds I wanted to show you, was the Pink Floyd and the headphones, which my family will be happy. They don't have to hear my hack playing. And it's been hack guitar playing for about, well, since I was 15, so that's a long time, 32 years-ish. All right, let me get to this new vinyl, and I got some great used vinyl finds to show you. In keeping with the David Bowie vinyl picture disc series, which I have all of them so far, from Starman up until this one, and all the Record Store Day ones. This one just came out on the heels of the new David Bowie box set, which is covering his kind of 80s material, which I don't mind. That's the first stuff I heard. But the new picture disc that came out is Zeros. It's the 2018 radio edit, backed with Beat of Your Drum. I have read that one of Bowie's wishes was he could go back and kind of redo the Never Let Me Down album, which this is from. And apparently it's in this new box set coming out, and it's probably the only reason I'll get this box set, because I'm kind of, sorry, let me just show you that, then I'll shelve that, the new David Bowie 7-inch picture disc. I'm kind of rethinking vinyl box sets. I don't know what the need is to get these David Bowie box sets anymore. I mean, I have all the originals, and they kind of suck you in with the bonus material, which, I mean, these things are going around $250. So, I mean, if I want to have a good Christmas for my family and all that good stuff, you know, I might pass on the new David Bowie box set, to be honest with you. Although I just said I was going to get it. No, I'm a hypocrite. I don't think I will. Anyways, keeping with the Bowie theme, I just got this in the mail. It was an exclusive. If you went to the David Bowie Is exhibit that traveled the world, each exhibit had exclusive vinyl, and I got some from the Italy exhibit. And when the Brooklyn one recently closed, they put their excess vinyl on sale, and I was able to snag a copy of David Bowie, as I almost drop it, I Select. This came out on CD many years ago. If you don't know the David Bowie I Select album, it's on red vinyl. Nice little booklet inside. Played it last night, sounds fantastic. But this is a compilation, in my opinion, worth owning, because David Bowie, at the time of the release, he selected these songs. So it's kind of a compilation of his favorite songs that he's done. There's the track listing if you for some reason don't know this album. So apart from the hundreds of thousands of David Bowie greatest hits, this is kind of, I think, slightly a cut above, as this was compiled by the man himself of some of his favorite songs he's done. There you go. David Bowie I Select, which was a David Bowie Is exhibit exclusive. I'm going to title this next album as You All Are Bad Influences. I watch your videos, and sometimes I don't give credit where credit's due. And I see some of the stuff you're showing, and I feel, you know what, I'm going to have to drink lots of coffee today, and that's annoying but because my throat is going to go at any time, so you have to excuse me. Watered down coffee might be the solution today. It's Tim Hortons. It's very weak. Anyways, I watch your videos, and you guys all show some good stuff, and in this particular case, I'm talking about Vinyl in the Van. If you don't know Vinyl in the Van, go watch his videos. He's an incredible guy. I've talked about him before. Just a cool guy. And his last video, he was showing a lot of Melvin's vinyl, and I saw the Melvins not too long ago, and I have all the Melvins on disc, CD, I guess. And I thought, well, I don't really have a lot of Melvins on vinyl, so I popped on the old Amazon after watching your video, Vinyl in the Van. You're a horrible influence. Anyways, I popped on this, and I added some stuff to my Amazon cart, and the next day some stuff, well, one thing particularly went on sale really cheap, and that's the Melvins Houdini. This might be my screen capture, who knows. Anyways, this is the Third Man Records reissue in the gatefold. And yeah, you all watching your videos, spending my money for me, thank you very much for that. This is the album that most people start off on, I guess in modern day times, because it's the one that Kurt Cobain's involved in to varying degrees. If you read interviews with Buzz Osborne from the Melvins, he would lead you to believe that Kurt Cobain didn't really have a lot of influence on this album, but he's listed as a producer, and he played guitar on this album supposedly. Anyways, regardless of that, I'm starting off my my Melvins vinyl with collection with Houdini. So yeah, thank you for that, you guys. All right, what do we got? A few more new vinyl releases that came in the mail. The last of the Pet Shop Boys. See, I'm all over the place. I'm going from Melvins to Pet Shop Boys. I'm eclectic, if nothing else. Maybe annoying, but eclectic. The last of the Pet Shop Boys reissues came out, and although I didn't pick up all of them, these two were the number 1 and 2 ones I was waiting forward to, and of course they wait till last. I got Very. That was number 1 on my most wanted list for Pet Shop Boys, and I got Behavior. This one has Being Boring on it, which is my favorite track on this one. And this one has, well, this whole album is good. Go West, etc., etc. Anyways, Pet Shop Boys reissues. The final batch came out. Nice, faithful packaging. Excuse me. The last of the new records to show you is this is from Music on Vinyl, my favorite vinyl reissue label, and you can tell I'm super high on Cold Medicine and other things. It's just Cold Medicine. I'm all over the place. This is the only album by this band I never had because it's one of my favorite bands, but not one of my favorite albums by that band. But it dropped down to like $12 via a third-party seller on Amazon, so I was going to jump on that. Pop Will Eat Itself, New Noise. New Noise designed by a sadist. Anyways, I wasn't going to buy this one unless it dropped down dirt cheap, and it did. It's okay, just to complete the collection. Populated itself, one of my favorite bands ever. Not that album. All right. Excuse me. The next 3 records. I posted this on the YouTube vinyl community. And by the way, I don't run that. Someone messaged me thinking that I ran that page. I don't. I have nothing to do with it. I just post. I'm not an admin. I have nothing to do with it. So I name drop it as a point of reference, but I have nothing to do with it. So if you click to join and they're slow adding you on, I have no idea. So anyways, I posted these on the YouTube vinyl community, and some people thought I found these at thrift stores, and although I didn't say that, you all jumped to conclusions. Really quick story. There's a guy locally selling, he had some vinyl for sale, and I noticed on Facebook that we had some mutual friends. Gave him a call. He said, come over, look at some stuff, and I picked up 3 things out of his collection. So this is pretty amazing stuff, and I might title this Grails that you don't know are Grails until you're looking at it, because they're things you think you would never find. So why even add them? Like, you wouldn't even add them to like a most wanted list, because you just think, wow, you're never going to find this. But this is what I got from this gentleman. Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation. This is going to be my screen cap. This is an original first pressing on Enigma Records. Gatefold. And I don't know if I want to pull the record. I'll pull the record out. See, I'm not touching it. There you go. Enigma Records, first pressing. If you want to know how rare this is, you can go into Discogs and have a look and see what a first pressing Daydream Nation sells for. But that's one of those things you think you would never ever find. One of the greatest albums of all time. First pressing. I didn't really pay much for it too. I got a really good deal. I could talk about that album forever and what an amazing find it is, but suffice to say, possibly one of my greatest finds ever, via online, going to some guy's house, looking through his records, etc. The next amazing find is, this is a first pressing as well in the, I'll show it to you, Chaconi Youth, the Whitey album. Now, if you don't know Chaconi Youth, this has the embossed logo. Chaconi Youth is essentially Sonic Youth with Mike Watt from the Minutemen. They did this album in 1989. Like Sonic Youth, although this is probably not as rare as of a find than Daydream Nation, it's equally as exciting for me. This is an original first pressing on Blast First Records, original inner. These are both in incredibly great condition. So I don't know what else to tell you. If you don't know this album, have a listen. It's one of those Sonic Youth albums that kind of fall under the radar because it's not called Sonic Youth. But Mike Watt's on it. So you got the Minutemen with Sonic Youth. Yeah, pretty amazing. And the last of the albums I picked up from his house is a band called Gangrene from Boston. Very early hardcore, Boston hardcore. But this album in particular, I'll show it to you. It's called You Got It. This is an original copy. This was released on, in the States it was on Roadrunner Records. I remember I had the tape. And then in Canada it was released on Fringe Records, which released a lot of alternative Tentacles and SST stuff and all that stuff. Original inner. This is the album that Gangrene kind of went a little skate punk crossover. And the reason why I picked this up, really quick story. Oh man, you know what, I got so much vinyl to show I hesitate telling a story, but I'm going to tell you a story. You got a fast forward button if you want. I saw this concert, well it wasn't even a concert. I saw this tour at a place called Eastwood Community Hall. With local legends, SNFU, and a band called the Goo Goo Dolls. They were on their first tour, and I was at this guy's house, and I'm telling him the story why I'm picking up this album. It's not a great album. comparatively speaking, to Boston hardcore crossover records. It's just memories. So I'm telling him this story. He goes, yeah, I put that show on. This guy was telling me. I'm like, oh my God, you put that show on. And I was recounting this story, and he remembered it too. I think this was Goo Goo Dolls' first album tour. And everyone hated them. And I mean hated the Goo Goo Dolls. Because you had Gangrene, hardcore, crossover, SNFU, which were, they could do no wrong. They were the preeminent punk bands in Canada at that time, in my opinion. So the Goo Goo Dolls at one point just kind of gave up. And I remember, I don't know the band's, the bass player guy. Not Resnick, I don't know. The other guy. You know, the other guy. He just rolled up his pant legs for some reason, and they just started jamming because their stuff wasn't going over. And they were well hated. And then later on, the Goo Goo Dolls become what they were. But I was telling this story, and that's my little story. That I saw this tour at a local community hall with the Goo Goo Dolls. Nobody knew who the Goo Goo Dolls were at the time. And they were friggin' hated. And of course, as most things happen like that, they go on to be huge. That's why I got the Gangrene album. And that's kind of was my life as a teenager, was every Friday, Saturday, we'd get together, see where the punk shows were at the community halls, and we would go see these bands who would, you know, later on become local punk legends or international punk legends. There you go. All right, let's just move this along here. Thrift store finds. Actually, you know what? This wasn't a thrift store find. I bought this at a local store. I guess some guy traded it in, but it was on my want list anyways. Christian Death Catastrophe Ballet. 30th anniversary issue on clear vinyl. It's been in my Amazon cart for a while, but I wasn't going to pay the price. But some guy traded it in at a local store, and I got it for, I don't know, 12 bucks or something. One of my favorite goth albums. The Christian Death really only made 2 good albums. Their first album and this one. I wouldn't go beyond the first 2 albums. It's kind of scary after that point. But Christian Death Catastrophe Ballet. All right, let's get on to the thrift store finds. Louis Armstrong meets Oscar Peterson. This is a modern day reissue. I just bought it because it was there. It's not really my bag. I'm not a huge Louis Armstrong, Oscar Peterson's okay, but I'll probably use this as trader material. I told you I was sick off the top. Yeah, there you go. Not much more to say about that one. I wish I had put these in some kind of order. Leonard Cohen. I found a Leonard Cohen, my first Leonard Cohen album I've ever found at a thrift store. Songs from a Room. This is an original Columbia 2i. Excuse me again. Maybe I should have waited to film this video. I think this might be my last video for a while, for at least a few weeks anyway, so hence why I'm filming this now. Excuse me. Yeah, Leonard Cohen, Songs from a Room. Not that familiar with this album. I know Bird on a Wire, and that's really all I know off this album, but I'll listen to this later and decide if I'm going to keep this Songs from a Room. Let's go to this one. Billy J. Kramer. Just hang on. Don't skip by Billy J. Kramer. I want to show this to you. This is an original Capitol Records pressing. And it's called, what is this one called now? Top 12 Hits. Now here's the thing about Billy Kramer, is that he was managed by one Brian Epstein at the same time as the Beatles. And the reason why these albums are collectible is because Brian Epstein had Billy J. Kramer and he had the Beatles. So of course you have Lennon McCartney on one side, and of course, you know, he's going to get them to write some songs for this guy. So on this album here, there are some Lennon McCartney songs on this album, which is worth owning for that very reason. So an original, like I said, Capitol Records pressing. There's nothing to show you on that one. So anyways, picked that up at a thrift store, and I kind of remembered the Brian Epstein, Lennon McCartney tie-in. So for, I guess for Beatles purists, or just for completist, this album has several Lennon-McCartney songs that they wrote for Billy J. Kramer, etc., etc., etc. Who doesn't like Stax Records? Who doesn't like Stax Records? When I find a Stax Records album at a thrift store, it's time to jump up and down. This is called The Sweet Inspirations. And the album's called Estelle, Myrna, and Sylvia on, like I said, on Stax. See, Stax. One of the best soul R&B labels ever. This is from 1973. And I believe it's a promo copy as well, too. I played this yesterday. This is an original, like I said, yellow label Stax Records copy. Incredible R&B soul music. If you ever see this kicking around, pick it up. It's well worth the, well, I guess it's relative to what your local store is charging for it, but it's well worth a listen anyways. Really great. I said, most things on Stax is great anyways, but this was a really nice pickup from a thrift store. Isley Brothers. As I'm dropping more records here. Inside You. Sorry, I haven't even peeled these records yet. On T-Neck Records. Great funk label. This must be a later Isley Brothers records, 1981, yeah. You can tell by the clothes. They're dressed very Gap Band and Dazz Band and bands like that. But it's the Isley Brothers, so you know it's going to be fantastic. So that was a nice little pickup. This one's an oddity, and I want you just to hear me out on this one. This is a guy called John Mills Cockle, and it's an album called Heartbeat in the Shrink, 1972, I believe. I picked it up on Pure Hunt, and I played it, and then I kind of investigated it after the fact. It's very incredible. You can look it up yourself. John Mills Cockle, Heartbeat. I believe on YouTube someone has the album on that one. It's incredible. Early 70s electronic, ambient. It's like early space rock, progressive rock. It's like experimental art rock. It's just, and it blew me away. So this is one of those cases where a hunch really paid off. I think it was like a couple bucks. But an amazing album. This one is going nicely in my collection because it's absolutely blew me away. It's got some classical elements, but that's kind of all mixed in with the art rock and experimental side of it. But it's very spacey in parts of it. Amazing album. Please have a listen if that even remotely sounds interesting. And man, do I suck at descriptions, don't I? Mark Benno, Ambush. This is a promo copy, a white label promo on A&M. Mark Benno is, he's from Dallas, Texas. This is from 1973, I believe. Blues, rock, some funk mixed in. It's a really good album. Really glad I picked this one up, kind of like the other one. Just picked it up on a hunch. It was a white label promo. Thought, well, you know, might have some interest in it. But really, really good Texas blues rock album. Mark Benno, Ambush. And some stuff I haven't had time to clean up and peel the stickers off. But you know what? Let's just go through this. Really nice copy of Go-Go's Beauty and the Beast. I'm going to have to peel some stickers off here. I think these are all DJ copies. But super, super clean. So that's going to be a upgrade copy for me. When I picked these albums up, I made a huge pile at the thrift store. And I meant to put this one back, but at the time I was in the beginning stages of this illness where my head really wasn't together. Not like it is now, because I'm super, my mind is clear. But I was super out of it, was with my wife, and I made this huge pile, and she just, oh, man, I was so out of it. And she got tired of me looking at these same 12 records, and she went to this card, and she didn't hang around. I think she was kind of / amused, embarrassed. I meant to put, and long story short, I meant to put this one back with a bunch of other albums I'm not going to show you. Because I got home, and then I kind of became a little bit more lucid. I'm like, what? I can't. What did I pick these ones up? Chic, Real People. I love Chic. I think that was $2. Some writing on it. I love Chic. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Chic fan. I've got a Chic vinyl box set over there. You can't see that over there. And by the way, if you're in my area, come look at this room I always point at. It's filled with good stuff. As I have a Chic vinyl box. I love Chic. This album, this is one of their later albums. I'm not so keen on it, but the fact that it's Bernard Edwards, now Rogers and Tony Thompson, I don't feel that bad. But it's one of those records I thought I was going to put back, and I didn't because I was really... Anyways, John and Vangelis, Friends of Mr. Cairo. I've never owned this album, but when I was a kid, this has the long version of Friends of Mr. Cairo on it, not the edited single version. I loved that song when I was young. Don't we all love Friends of Mr. Cairo? I love it. In fact, you know what? When I'm done this video, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play that damn album. I love that. Anyways, this was $4. But you know what? Some of my thrift stores are charging $4. Elvis, Golden Records. You might think not a great find, but it's the cleanest version of this record I own. I have an original Black Label RCA Records one. This one's a later pressing. But it is so clean. You never find clean Elvis records. Well, you do sometimes, not very often. It comes with the printed inner sleeve. But it is literally the cleanest copy of Golden Records I've ever seen. So this one's going in my collection. It's way better than my original pressing for sure. So that's a keeper. Not the biggest Elvis fan, but I mean, that's such a great record. Al Cooper, a possible projection of the future / childhood's end. Don't know anything about this record. I know Al Cooper, but don't know anything about this record. If you know anything about it, let me know. I haven't played it yet. I know it's blues. Oh yeah, there's the original inner sleeve for it, but I kind of tucked there and I put a normal sleeve. It's got one of those annoying inside covers there. Anyways. Al Cooper, if you know this album, let me know. It's a pretty ripping cover. Lots of flying V's on the back. That's pretty cool. Anyways, I look forward to listening to that record. Let me know if you heard that record before. Getting to the end of it. Some catalog stuff just to fill some space. Yeah, like I need more records to fill space. If my wife hears me say that, I don't need no more records. Don Henley, Building the Perfect Beast. It was just there in that pile. Really nice, clean copy. It's actually, I didn't realize that it's an RCA Music Club version. Yay! But I know the only reason I bought this album was All She Wants to Do Is Dance. I'm so sick of Boys This Summer. If I never heard that song again. The Moog Groove. I love these Moog albums. I pick them up all the time at thrift stores. This one's on Mercury Records. Oddly enough, they're usually on some kind of really weird label, but Mercury Records put this one out. Look at that back cover. Anyways, it's called The First Album of Electronic Rock. I've yet to hear this record yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I love these Moog albums. I'm getting quite the collection of them, to be honest with you. And in the back, I see a picture of the Beatles, so it might be okay. Last one I'm going to show you. It's very unspectacular, and I'm at 29 minutes, and I'm going to tell you really quickly. The first album I ever owned, I said this before, and I'm sorry for being sick and being all coffee. That's annoying. But I don't think I would have recorded a video until October, to be honest with you, so I had to get this done while the kids at school. What an aside that was. You can thumbs down this video too if you want. I don't blame you. The first album I ever owned was Billy Joel Glass Houses. My parents bought me that for Christmas. In 1981 or so. I guess they saw me singing along to it when he was on Solid Gold. So they thought, oh, well, he's in that album. My first one I ever owned was Glass Houses by Billy Joel. The second album I ever owned was this one. and I lost track of my original copy, and I found this at a thrift store. I picked it up for pure nostalgia to pay tribute to my parents who started buying me records at a very, very early age. And then I got this one. I think they just thought because I like Billy Joel, Glass Houses, I'd like this one. Songs from the Attic, they bought me this one. And I wasn't keen on it because I was like 10. But what this album is a lot of you know. They released this when he kind of started getting really popular with The Stranger and Glass Houses and 52nd Street. And this is all early material. Some of Billy's favorite early material from before he got big. So what do you got in here? You got Miami, the 2017. Street Life Serenade. She's Got Away. Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Captain Jack. Anyways, I didn't like it when I was 10. But good on my parents for trying. I mean, I got to give them credit for that. But it wasn't until later years when I started really getting into this album, and then I moved 1,000 times when I was a teenager, and well, later on in life, and I lost track of this album. But I got a really nice, clean version for $2 at the thrift store, and it just pure memories. And well, I don't have my dad to thank because he's long gone. My mom's out there somewhere. She'll never see this. She's 125 years old, but maybe she will. But thank you, Mom and Dad, for buying me records at such a young age, and really I have you to blame for all this. I really do. So thanks, Mom and Dad. Anyways, we're gonna end this video right now. There will not be another video until October after our local record fair. I got a lot of work to do for that. I'm still recovering from medical stuff, and then I got this goddamn cold that everyone at my work has. So I'm gonna forage on, get ready for our local record fair, and we'll see you in a few weeks. So thank you for hanging in there. I really do appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing, commenting. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me. It's all engagement. So fire away. From a very snowy Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, I'm going to sign off. So thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.